Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 12 of my Southampton series. This is, of course, the mid-season review. Of course, it comes at the end of January transfer window, and of course that means we have to get through some transfer activity. So, the outs, first of all, there are a couple. As you can see, Stephen Davis went to Stoke for 93,000. Romeu left to Sheffield Wednesday for 1 million. Hatem Ben Arfa, of course, never really played much, never really performed either. Sold him to Sassuolo for 3.4 mil. We got him on a free transfer, so that's a decent little bit of cash coming in for nothing. And Ryan Shawcross was sold to Leicester for 1.5 mil. Of course, he never performed. Probably one of the reasons why Stoke got relegated a couple of seasons ago. And he caused a massive, massive problem within the squad. Had half of the squad against me and half of the squad with me in terms of not playing him and stuff, so really good to get him out. The players we brought in, first of all, Luis Mercado is I think he's, Colombian regen. He's a right winger, looks very good, got decent pace, 18 determination, 15 flair, 16 technique, 16 crossing, 19 years old, looks very good. Only 3-star potential, and he's already at 2.5-star current ability. But he was bought for 3.3 mil from Boca, and I think that's a little. It's a decent player for that type of fee anyway, so I'm quite happy with that. The next player is another regen, another Colombian 19-year-old, Giovan Rodriguez. He is a left and right back, or wing back, I should say, because I have changed the tactic once again. And it's really working out at the moment, so that's good. I'll get into that soon enough. But as you can see, his current ability is 3.5-star, and his potential is 4-star, so he's still got a bit of room to grow, and he looks like he could be a really decent player. His paces, his physicals are all quite good, and his defensive stats are pretty impressive as well. And he was brought in for 3.5, so they're both around the same amount, both from the same nation, same age, and same team we bought them from, both coming from Boca. And the final player I brought in, I had to replace Ryan Shawcross, and there's a reason why. If you see our tactic, we play with 3 centre-backs now. So we brought in Phil Jones from United for 8.5 mil. The thing about this transfer, I didn't realise that he was injured, but he's currently out injured for, I think, 6 to 9 weeks, which is quite a long time, and it's a pretty big mistake. He is actually our highest earner now. He's on 98,000 a week, which is, not ideal. He's got a 3-year contract, so if he doesn't perform, we'll ship him out. He can also play in the midfield as well as a ball-winning midfielder, so it's not too bad. I want to play him as a centre-back though, and I really wish he was fit because I'd start playing him straight away. Okay, so we're going to get into the fixtures now. Of course, the last episode you guys saw was the Norwich game, I believe. Yeah, the Norwich victory that we got. The next game was a 2-0 loss to Sheffield Wednesday. Probably didn't deserve to lose this game, but Lucas João got himself a brace for Wednesday, and as you can see, we kind of dominated them. They had 4 shots on target, scored 2 goals, and as you can see, some of their defenders and their goalkeeper played very well. Next game against West Ham was a 2-1 victory away from home. Tadic and Juanmi on the score sheet, and we managed to pick up the victory in the 92nd minute in stoppage time, and that was a very lucky victory there against a not a very strong team in West Ham either. We then faced Derby, who I think were in 7th place at this time in the Capital One Cup quarter-final, and that was at home. Kostic with a brace and Lopez, the young Argentinian player, on the score sheet there, sending us into the semi-final. We then versed them again, and it was at home as well. We could only manage a 2-2 draw, this time. So, it was pretty disappointing as well with that little thing there. Kostic opened the scoring for us. Van Dijk got on the score sheet, who has been our most improved player since I changed the tactic, and I'll show you why. It sort of fits him very well, the player role I have him in. Fabio Borini got one back for Derby, and then Rulli just had an absolute piss poor effort, and the ball went through his legs and he kind of like kicked it in, the back of the net. I would have to show you, but it would just take a while. And I feel like I've given a pretty good explanation as to what actually happened. City was up next, a 5-0 loss. 5-1 loss. Pretty, yeah. I mean, if they've got Aguero, Sterling in the team, you're pretty much going to lose. So Nasri opened the scoring for them. Aguero got a hat-trick. Sterling scored an absolute screamer, if I remember correctly. And Iheanacho, the former City player, getting on the score sheet for us in that game. We then got another defeat, so back-to-back defeats. Pretty bad ones at that as well. 4-1 loss to Tottenham. Bentaleb, Sisto, Vasquez, and our former player Jay Rodriguez on the score sheet for them, and Kostic got one for us in the 81st minute. The next game was a 1-0 victory over Everton, and as you can see, Juanmi scored in the 90th minute. They didn't have a shot on target, so that's quite impressive, and it was good to see that the tactic was actually working. We then followed that up with another victory at home, a 2-1 victory over West Brom, who I think were coming last at this time, and I didn't realise, but they have Martin Odegaard on loan, and he opened the scoring in the 5th minute. It was an absolute wonder. I think it might have been goal of the month even. Kostic then got one back for us in the 56th minute, and we got a penalty in the 78th, which Kazuwa managed to put away. 3 home games in a row and 3 victories in a row as well. This time coming over Crystal Palace, Kazuwa again on the score sheet, Iheanacho and Fellaini getting his first goal for the club, and Kramaric opened the scoring for Palace, so it was good to get a nice 3-1 comeback victory. And then we went to Watford and managed to pick up the win there as well. Kostic getting the only goal of the game, but as you can see, we dominated possession, and that's pretty impressive away from home to get 63%. We then played the Capital One Cup semi-final first leg, and we drew Chelsea, which was by far the hardest draw. But as you can see, Juanmi opened the scoring for us in the 13th and Kostic in the 25th. So we were 2-0 in front up until the 75th minute. Diego Costa got it, and then Eden Hazard dispatched a penalty 3 minutes later. But to be fair, we did not deserve to lose this game, and giving away that penalty was just heartbreaking. It really was. We then played the FA Cup third round against Rotherham. We lost. I did play a bit of a reserve team, kind of. I played all the backup players that hadn't been playing, like Borja, San Emeterio. He wasn't playing. Sakai is pretty much first team right back at the moment. Bertrand as well. Kazuwa is in front of him. Balic, yeah, he's not playing. Classie's more suited to the first team. Ramirez again, same sort of thing. And we also played Graham White, the English youth striker, and then we brought Franco Lopez on, so it was quite a weak team, and obviously we lost the game, so it's quite reflective of that. We then faced Chelsea once again, could only manage a 0-0 draw at home, which is kind of a good result. It is Chelsea after all. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. We kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, which is, kind of unheard of, so that was a decent result. Followed that up with a 1-0 victory against Swansea. Juanmi on the score sheet there. Pretty impressive. Nice little clean sheet again there. So that's 2 in a row. Make that 3 in a row as we beat Reading 2-0 at home. Juanmi and Morgan Eza, the English youth player that we have, that we signed in the last season, sorry. As you can see, he's looking pretty decent, but we'll get into his next start, which was, not so good. I think the next game is the Capital One Cup semi-final second leg. Yes, it is, and that was the most recent game that I played, and it was heartbreaking. So I'll show you the stats. We decided to start Morgan Eza again, and as you can see, we opened the scoring. So we were in front. Juanmi in the 62nd minute. We go down here. Morgan Eza picked up 2 yellows, got sent off in the 72nd, so that was 10 minutes after we scored our goal. It took them up until the 89th minute. Eden Hazard, I knew it was going to happen as well. I called it as I was watching the highlight. I was like, they're definitely going to score here, and it's going to be jammy as all hell. And what do you know? It's got to be Eden Hazard, and he scores against me. And pretty much right at the end of the game, we go into extra time, a man down, trying to play on the counter-attack. Didn't really work. Nemanja Matic, I think this is quite a decent goal as well. And yeah, just heartbreak. We almost made our first cup final, but it just wasn't to be. Even though it's the Capital One Cup, it's not really, anything too special. But it would have been amazing just to get to a cup final. And the other two teams that were in it were both beatable teams. You got Leicester and Blackburn. So yeah, we got Chelsea, who are obviously the hardest out of all these three teams. And yeah, we almost knocked them out and got to the final, which we could have, like I said, very easily won. So we'll get into the match preview here. We are taking on Manchester United today in this live com, so it's going to be a difficult game. We've never actually beaten United so far on this series. There's always a first time for everything. As you can see, this tactic, it's a little bit different. We're kind of playing 5 at the back here with 2 centre mids, 2 inside forwards on attack, and a striker, an advanced forward up front. So let me go over some things. As you can see, the two left and right centre backs are both just your regular standard centre defender on defend. But then we've got the ball playing defender in the middle, who is Van Dijk. As I mentioned, he's actually been our best player so far this season, and it's pretty much because he's been playing in this role. Of course, I barely even played him in the first third of the season, I should say. So he's on ball playing defender, but he's on stopper as well. And I mean, if you look at his stats, he's not very good. His technicals aren't very good as far as defending, but he's got pace and he's got strength and he's got passing as well. So it kind of works perfectly in a way. And yeah, he's just become an absolute rock in the middle of our centre defenders there. We got 2 wing backs, both complete wing backs on support, and that's Sakai and Kazuwa. I haven't really changed the midfield too much. We've got a deep line playmaker on defend, a ball-winning midfielder on support. As I mentioned, our 2 inside forwards on attack. But yeah, today's lineup, Romero, Rulli has just come back from an injury, but Romero has been playing absolutely amazing at the moment. So, and of course, it's against United, who we bought him off. And he's been keeping, as I mentioned before when I was doing the fixtures, he's kept quite a few clean sheets. Against Chelsea was one of them, and that's, like I said, a pretty decent feat. Our 3 centre defenders today, we don't actually have a backup, which is the reason why I bought Phil Jones, but he's got his injury. We've got Font, Van Dijk and Chambers, Sakai and Kazuwa, as I mentioned. We've got Classy as the deep lier, Fellaini is the ball winner, Kostic on the right, inside forward, Tadic on the left, and Juanmi will have to be up front, but I think we'll change that, and we'll put Iheanacho up front, and we'll put Juanmi out on the left. Yeah, I think that'll work a bit better. As you can see, Kostic is our top goal scorer at the moment. Iheanacho and Juanmi are both on 9, so they're not far behind, but Kostic has been, causing some real damage. Another thing I need to mention, I tried to get work permits on the 31st of January for both Wellington Silva and Juan Iturbe. Wellington Silva failed his again. I don't really know why that keeps happening. It's very weird. Of course, he got his in real life, so yeah, I don't know what to make about that. But Juan Iturbe actually got his work permit, but it got accepted on the 1st of February, so I couldn't recall him back from his loan. So he's going to have to spend another half a season on loan at Barrow, our feeder club. But we will get him back at the start of next season, and he has his work permit, so he'll be able to play for us as well. He is a 4-star player, and he's scored 16 goals, and that's his average rating, 7.53, and he's looked very impressive recently. Wellington Silva's not doing too well over there, 7.04 average rating at the moment. So yeah, let's advance this, and I probably should have shown you the tactic. It's pretty simple, and I've heard a lot of things about people saying that fairly simple tactics seem to get better results when you don't overcomplicate things. So their lineup today, it's a pretty interesting one actually. It's a 4-1-4-1 really. Depay up front, OP as anything, and they've got Douglas Costa, who is playing very well for them at the moment. And of course they signed William Carvalho for massive fee. 48 million they paid for him for just a defensive midfielder. I mean, he does look quite good, but 48 million? Yeah, no thank you. And of course their centre of defence doesn't look that solid. You know, Benatia and Smalling. They do have John Stones at right back and Jetro Williams at left back, so the fullbacks are pretty decent. And their midfield is quite good. Marta, Rafinha, Herrera and Costa, as I mentioned. But this tactic is doing quite well for me, so I'm just going to tell the boys to play their natural game and see what we can do today, I suppose. And it's lagging for some reason. Hopefully that doesn't continue. I think it was just a bit of a delay. Okay. Another thing I've noticed with this tactic is we really do dominate possession a lot, which is something I'm quite happy with, because I think it's actually one of my, board, what is it? It's not an expectation, but it's a philosophy. Kostic. Yeah. Not really going to score from there, mate. Not against De Gea. As you can see, our stadium is still being renovated, as we are missing a whole section there. Kostic, shoot! Oh, and it's in. Took a rebound off John Stones, I think. Yeah. Took the deflection off Stones, and it goes in from Kostic's, decent shot, really. Probably would have gone in anyway. But we are 1-0 up. Douglas Costa, their danger man. Very quick, very skillful. Plays it in. Memphis. I'm not going to call him Memphis, I'm just going to call him Overpowered. We'll just call him Overpowered from now on. Virgil. Sakai. He's played very well. Of course, we got him on a free transfer, the Japanese fullback. Or wingback, I should say. Fellaini, former United player. Chambers. To Sakai again. Kostic, nice little heading here. Beautiful little play. Sakai, can he cross it in? Cuts it back to Fellaini, who gives it away. That was a really weird ball. Don't really know why he did that, to be honest. Kazuwa. Inside to Classy. Back to Kazuwa. That's a nice play. But we don't capitalise yet. Ooh, big tackle. Iheanacho gets in. 2-0. Gets his 10th of the season. I'll show you his stats after this game. He's improved incredibly, but just hasn't really found goal-scoring form yet. And he's only 21 as well, so in a season or two time, I'm going to start expecting him to get at least 20 plus goals a season. If not, then he might be the bench player. So yeah, I'm sticking with him for now, and we'll see how he goes going into the future. But we are looking very good here. Of course, 2-0 in at half-time against United is decent, to say the least. Of course, like I mentioned, we've never beat them before on this series. And I think there's no better time. We've finally found a good tactic that works for me. And, yeah, it's clearly working in this game also. Alright, so we've got 64 minutes into the game at the moment. They're bringing on Montoya for Smalling. I don't know if I should make a change. I don't think I will, because we're playing too well at the moment. Chambers is looking a little bit, lackluster on a 6.6. But as you can see, Virgil van Dijk 7.4, Sakai on a 7.8. They're playing really well. Very impressed with them, to be honest. But there we go, guys. Barely a highlight in that second half. But I'll take this win. This is a massive victory. United are coming third at the moment as well. And there we go, guys. 2-0 victory over Manchester United. What else can I say? That is a top quality result. I'm very proud of the boys for that performance. 2 shots on target the whole game. And what do you know? They actually did not score a goal. That's a surprise. And of course, that shoots us up into, well, we were already in 10th place, but now we're only 3 points behind 9th. And that's pretty impressive. Let me just show you the league table, and then I'll get into a couple of players that I wanted to show you after the game. Palace are in 9th on 40 points. And then, we're not that too far off, Europa League, to be honest. Tottenham are in 7th on 43. Arsenal 6th on 44 points, sorry. And we're on 37. We are doing quite well at the moment. Of course, our goal is, 10th or above. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go. I think we're kind of living dangerously as far as centre-backs, because we don't even have a backup at the moment. I mean, Fellaini can play there. No, he can't. Never mind. Someone can. I think it was maybe Romero. Nope. Okay. So no one can. Oh, that's right. It was Romeu. And he's gone. Lovely. Another thing to mention, Katemboy, looking very solid at the moment. I think he played it might have been the last game or so. Not the last game before you guys saw it. And he's looking pretty good. Probably will be our best left back going into the future. Of course, we did sign that Rodriguez guy just recently, and he also looks quite tasty as well. But anyway, I'll go into Iheanacho's profile. Himself and Kostic both have the most assists on 6 apiece. So, as you can see, here are his stats. His physicals are all quite outstanding, which is impressive. They've all gone up quite a lot. They're all nearly above 16 or above, I should say. His finishing is now 16, which has gone up a bit. Heading 14 dribbling, a 13 first touch. So he's improved a little bit. He needs to work on his composure, I think. I think that's where he's lacking goal-scoring form. But yeah, he's still a decent player. He's played 3 times for Nigeria now, and he's got 5 goals, so come on. I expect him to do a little bit better. But yeah, that's his profile. He's come along nicely. As I mentioned, he's still 21 years old. Already beaten his goal tally from last season, where he was competing with James Wilson. And he's looking better. He is looking better, so that's good. Hopefully he can, do a bit more. We've actually never beaten Newcastle either on this series, so hopefully we can beat them as well, like we beat United today. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap this episode up. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like for the victory over Manchester United, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Goodbye.